We made it to Easter Sunday. As we celebrate Jesus rising from the dead, I want to look at a specific disciple and how his experiences with Jesus' death and resurrection apply to our own lives. After the Last Supper, Jesus goes with his disciples to the Mount of Olives, and he tells them all that they will fall away from him before he rises again. In Matthew 26, 33 through 35, we see an interaction between Peter and Jesus. It states, Peter replied, "Even if all fall away on account of you, I never will." "Truly I tell you," Jesus answered, "this very night, before the rooster crows, you will disown me 3 times." But Peter declared, "Even if I have to die with you, I will never disown you." And all the other disciples said the same. However, things don't end up going the way that Peter expects them to. Starting at Matthew 26:29, we see this. Now Peter was sitting out in the courtyard, and a servant girl came to him. "You also were with Jesus of Galilee," she said, but he denied it before them all. "I don't know what you're talking about," he said. Then he went out to the gateway, where another servant girl saw him, and said to the people there, "This fellow was with Jesus of Nazareth." He denied it again with an oath, "I don't know the man." After a little while, those standing there went to Peter and said, "Surely you are one of them. Your accent gives you away." Then he began to call down curses, and he swore to them, "I don't know the man." Immediately a rooster crowed. Then Peter remembered the word Jesus had spoken, "Before the rooster crows, you will disown me 3 times." And he went outside and wept bitterly. I think we've all had experiences like this. We all have some sort of sin or temptation that we struggle with. And sometimes after we give in to that temptation, we get this strong feeling of conviction where we tell ourselves with confidence that this is it and that we're never going to give in again. But then eventually time goes on and that temptation comes back and we sin again. And suddenly all that confidence we had before has vanished. And this is exactly what seems to happen to Peter. Despite being with Jesus for much of his ministry, in this moment of fear, Peter just throws all of that away. But there's an important detail in Matthew 26:75. It says that Peter remembered the word Jesus had spoken and wept bitterly. Peter doesn't just sin and go on about his day. Instead, he feels ashamed and he understands the gravity of his actions. Even though he sins, he has a repentant heart. And the story continues in John 21:15. It says, when they had finished eating, Jesus said to Simon Peter, "Simon, son of John, do you love me more than these?" "Yes, Lord," he said, "you know that I love you." Jesus said, "Feed my lambs." Again, Jesus said, "Simon, son of John, do you love me?" He answered, "Yes, Lord, you know that I love you." Jesus said, "Take care of my sheep." The 3rd time he said to him, "Simon, son of John, do you love me?" Peter was hurt because Jesus asked him the 3rd time, "Do you love me?" He said, "Lord, you know all things. You know that I love you." Jesus said, "Feed my sheep." This is essentially Peter's punishment for denying Jesus. Jesus makes him acknowledge his love for Jesus 3 times, which is once for every time that Peter denied him. We're specifically told that Peter was hurt by this. God's retribution may feel hurtful in the moment. Sometimes the results of our sin will feel uncomfortable or upsetting. But at the same time, Peter's punishment could have been much worse. Jesus could have scorned Peter for his actions and not allowed him to remain one of Jesus' disciples. But instead, Jesus forgives Peter because Peter has a repentant heart and he still longs for Jesus. God's punishment isn't about hurting us, and it's not even necessarily about teaching us a lesson, but instead it's a way for us to demonstrate that even though we sometimes act against him, we still love him and desire to follow him. And as long as we truly believe in God and yearn for him, he will always give us another chance. And Jesus died and came back to life for exactly that purpose.